Being joined by Robinder Sachdev, a foreign expert. A very good morning, Mr. Sachdev. Thank you so much for speaking to CNN News 18. Well, clearly there is another anti-India rally that is being organized in Canada, and authorities seem to be reluctant in taking actions. What are your views pertaining to the escalating tensions between India and Canada?
Thank you so much. A good morning and pleasure to be with you. See, couple of things. In a big picture, another thing which is happening is that in the last 30 to 40 years, maybe, or not, if not 40, let's say about 30 plus years, this is the loudest noise the Khalistan topic is making across the world, right?
Right.
And therefore, what is happening is that elements who are, separatists, extremists, promoting the agenda of Khalistan, be it in whichever country, are trying to take advantage of this moment in spotlight. That's also happening. And as you said, there may not be a very well synchronized agenda across all groups and, across Australia, UK, Canada, US, etc. But generally, folks in the separatist movement, I think they're realizing that right now the world attention is on them. So whatever they can, they're conjuring up new and newer tricks, or the same old tricks, but their same old tricks are getting more attention. That's one, right? Secondly, yes, to a certain extent, these demonstrations will not be able to be stopped by the Canadians or the UK or US and all. As long as they are peaceful demonstrations, and as long as they have police permission, supposing they take a permission for 100 people, demonstration to stand somewhere with placards, the police cannot do anything generally in any of these countries. One is that if these rallies go into hate speech, basically hate speech or turn violent and all, yes, then definitely the hammer should come down on them. But otherwise, this sporadic or even sporadic, these kind of demonstrations we can expect to see more and more. I think your colleague Abhishek was mentioning about Gandhi Jayanti tomorrow, right, or day after.
Right.
So something could be happening on that, or any other date, any other reason. Right now these are rallies or demonstrations happening in Canada. Tomorrow in UK, folks may say in sympathy, and they're already saying in sympathy to the cause of. Our Canadian brothers of the separatist breed, we do this, something happens. So this is a spiral of sorts, but perhaps some part of the spiral has to be also, downplayed, neglected, so that it does not give them needless oxygen also.
All right, Mr. Sachdev, another input this morning suggested a confrontation between Indian High Commissioner and the K protesters there. Now, this exchange and the mob stopping the Indian High Commissioner is not going to be taken into the right light. What are your views to this kind of an attitude that is being tabbed on all fronts from the Sikh community? There clearly seems to be a rage at their end.
A part of the Sikh community, right? A very fringe, a very, very, very fringe, very small, insignificant part of the Sikh community, let's say. Right. But yes, it goes back to what we were discussing just a minute ago, that right now these separatist elements, they are finding that propaganda, they have a good opportunity for their propaganda. And as once again, not only media, in India, but global media is talking about what is happening, right? And therefore, they're trying to get their narrative out as to why they feel, discriminated, or what is their grudge against India or the Indian government, etc. So these incidents will pop up more and more, unfortunately. But then, yes, we have to remember, I think all of us do, that, it's a very, very minor, insignificant part, not even 1% of the Sikh diaspora, let's say. But what this ends up doing is also, tainting, because, when people are talking, you are not able to break into the nuances of, it's only, 0.1% of the Sikh diaspora. The wider Sikh community also gets painted in this picture, and that again lends to, a feeling of unhappiness amongst a little wider section of the Sikh community. And that's what these guys want. They want to create rifts between the wider Sikh community and India.
Right. Mr. Sachdeva, like you mentioned, that some extremist elements are trying to create a problem amongst the wider Sikh community and a rift between the Indian community. Now, this adds these kind of rallies, these kinds of threats and mobs stopping the Indian High Commissioner, adds on to the looming threat on the Indian diaspora that is living on the ground in the various countries. How do we see this escalating on the diplomatic front?
It's already escalating on the diplomatic front by India. I think India is very much, putting forth this clear viewpoint. But you see, to a certain point, the government of India can engage with the government of another country, technically speaking, right? So that, okay, the government of India can talk to the government of Canada and ask it to, bring its internal affairs in order. The government of India technically cannot be intervening with Canadian citizens, be it, the wider Indian origin. I mean, they do have engagements and all, but there are limitations to what the government can do with the publics of another country. So therefore, what is more needed also is that the diaspora itself has to step up and engage more within the community, between whoever be the Indian diaspora, Hindu, Muslim, Sikhs and all, Christians of Indian origin. They have to have more engagements within them so that these elements, the separatist elements, are more and more, sidelined, more and more condemned within the community. But this is something where I think the diaspora should step up more. Definitely should step up more. The diaspora, the white diaspora, should step up more to build harmony within the diaspora.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Sachdeva. Well, that was Robinder Sachdev, a foreign expert, suggesting that there needs to be an interaction between the Indian diaspora and the elements to sideline the extremist elements in and around the various cities and countries.